Hey YouTube, Jedi Fuka here, and in this video I wanted to talk about the Green Dragon. So those of you who are getting to this, I'm going to do a free-to-play team to help you guys beat this guy. So let's get into it real quick. Always remember we got the champion reset for the first week. Don't forget to utilize that. That's what I'm using for this. So I got rid of my OP team. Now I set up this free team. Now, the way this team is looking is our damage star is going to be your adventurer in fire mode. Your adventurer is very good. Definitely make sure you're leveling them out, guys. You get the free skills upgrades, so you're going to be doing a lot more damage and getting these skills off faster. Okay, so use him. Now for a tank, I'm using Horus. You get him free day number 3. He is one of the best tanks in the game, possibly the best epic tank. Definitely utilize him, especially for stuff like this. And then the third main slot I would say is Hexandra. She's a healer. She's a free healer. If this is your first time playing Dragonheir, you just started in Season 1, you should definitely keep her leveled. She's going to be like your main healer for pretty much most of the season. This game is really lacking in healers inside of the rare epic categories. There's not very many. They added a few, but there's still not that many. So Hexandra is still going to be like a #1 champion. Now, for these other two, you guys pick whoever you have. If you've pulled any epic champions, use yourself an epic damage dealer. Whoever you got, you can throw in there. But I'm just trying to make free to play, so I just picked 2 champions that I like. So this one is going to be Irina. For those of you who just started playing, Irina is a superstar for rare. She's possibly the best rare in the game, along with Hexandra. She's definitely up there for a few reasons. One, in this game, you can kind of ignore that this says support. She's technically a support champion, but this girl can do tons of damage if you push up her attack. So she's really good for hitting hard as well as doing her support. Now in this build, I did a little bit of accuracy instead of pushing damage because I actually want to utilize her support kit while doing some damage. So real quick, in her kit, when she deals damage, she grants 10% max HP shield to the nearest ally. It's a decent little addition, nothing too crazy. This one, this chain lightning attack, hits up to 3 times. Nice little AoE, but her superstar attack is this one. 710% attack times lightning damage to enemies within range. So nice AoE hit with that 75% chance of an attack penalty too. She's the only rare that I know of that has an attack penalty too, and there's not even a lot of epics who have this. I highly recommend building Irina just for this because this is going to be a huge game changer in bosses. Now we're going to jump into the dragon, and I'm going to show you guys kind of how this team works and how to set up your people when you get here. So there's 2 different ways that you can do this. When you get to the first dragon, he does a tail attack that hits this side of the map and does an attack down, and then he does his next one that hits this side of the map and does a defense down. If you are struggling to stay alive against him, move your people who are struggling up to this side so they get the attack down. Attack down is easier to manage because as long as you're keeping your heals up, it doesn't matter if you're staying alive, you'll get your damage there. You got plenty of time. If you're not taking too much damage and you want to get through this faster, move everyone down to this side and you can take the defense down and just keep pushing through the damage. But we're going to keep them up here because I know when I played in Season 0, this was the easiest spot for me. It's probably going to be for you guys. And real quick, don't forget about your food. Use whatever food you got. I'll just come down here and use some of our rare foods. I use this, or not a rare, common food. I use this little 3% attack. It's not much, but it helps out, right? So coming into here, the main thing in this game I would say when you're fighting bosses is to remember that you can save up your specials for different things. So what I mean by that is we're going to do these first 2, we're going to just take them out, and then as they get close to dying, we're going to save our energy for the boss.
Don't underestimate the strength of the forest humans. Don't underestimate the strength.
He's probably got enough time to get his back up, so we're going to use that.
Don't underestimate the strength of the forest humans. Don't underestimate the strength of the forest humans.
Alright, and then now we'll have a full energy bar to hit the dragon with right out the gate. save the scene for those of you who get here and you want to watch it. Now we can just auto this up, and you'll see massive damage. Irina's going to drop his attack, so he's not going to be doing next to nothing on us.
Don't underestimate the strength of the forest humans.
His final attack here, he's going to bring out a lot of little dragons. It's good to save someone who can AoE hit them. It's nothing too crazy. They're easy to take down, so I'm not too worried about them. And as you see, we get him halfway before he's even to his main move. So now we can just AoE hit into here. If you're using Horus, the good thing with him is that he can provoke these little guys into attacking him. So I don't worry too much about my positioning for where they're going to land, because I know that Horus can keep them distracted and Hexandra can heal everyone up. And then I save my specials to use on the dragon.
Don't underestimate the strength of the forest humans.
Same thing, just melt some of that water. Now, for this one, we don't necessarily want to wipe him out before the final move, because we want to be able to save some energy bar for when his next phase comes out. So, we're going to get some damage on him, and then we're going to save some energy. Alright, so that's a good spot to be in. So, he's got just a tiny bit of bar left. Now what we're going to do is, after we use his move, now we're just going to save up these specials for when the next phase comes out. And the next phase is the hardest phase of the dragon, and I'll go over, especially when you start getting up in higher levels, another strategy you can use to survive it. So when he comes out, we'll use everyone's special except for Irina. Oh, sorry, I used that early. Oops. Should have hit him with A1. Don't do that. I wasn't paying attention. Now we're on phase 2. So now we're going to use everyone's special except for Irina. There we go. We didn't use up everyone. Now, right before he uses that move, we're going to use Irina to drop his attack. This is his hardest hitting. He does these little single hits. Sometimes this will all hit the same person and it can just melt your bar. When you get into higher levels, that's going to be a really hard hitting move. Yeah, it sucks to get hit with that. A few ways to handle it is I use Irina for her attack down. Here's this one. So this one, he's going to bring out a shield. To talk about the shield real quick, the lower levels it's easy to break the shield, and the higher levels it becomes harder. You have two strategies to deal with the shield, and that is either to save up all your specials and melt the shield down and then keep damaging, or what I like to do is actually to take the hit from the boss. He's going to do the shield hit and this first hit right next to each other, which can wipe out a team if you're not careful. So what I like to do is I will use an attack down like Irina right before his attack goes off at the end. It'll give him attack down for this attack and for that one to protect your team. And the higher levels, you can make your adventurer an ice adventurer, and you can pop a shield plus an attack down right before he hits you, and it's going to keep your team alive. For the lower level, he just in general, he's going to melt that shield.
Don't underestimate the strength of the forest.
I feel like they made this first boss fight easier than it was before. I remember struggling in Season 0, and now it seems pretty simple. Maybe they did just so that people can get through the story. I'm not 100% sure, but I know it jumps a big jump between this one and the next phase. Also, don't be afraid to use this thing for a shield. Especially so these boss fights, you only get to use this once anyway, so you can always utilize them in a good spot to do it on there. So I'm going to end it before we kill it, because I think I'm going to try to kill the higher level one for myself using my OP team to get more resources, but I wanted to show you guys that team. So a few things to talk about for the free-to-play players. Once you hit difficulty 2, it already jumps up to 120, and it does get to be quite a bit harder. We'll jump in here at this team. I'm sure they're probably not going to do too well. I'm going to go a little bit OP and go change up some artifacts if I'm going to do this. So my advice for artifacts for free to play when you start getting some, the rare one, this troll heart, used for your tank. This one's actually really good for your tank. I even used it in late game last season on my tank. Any of these, basically just look at what it correlates to, and for your main champions you just want to get some attack. I'm gonna move up into some more OP ones and my epics here.
Want to try Melrose's specialty mead?
Is all that you believe.
It's probably moving a little too
truly
fast for the
right?
game. I'm probably gonna die pretty quick, but that's okay. After I try this team, I'll move into my like OP team, which I'm probably not gonna record that. I just wanted to show you guys that difficulty jump. I'll probably get wrecked by these two right here.
Underestimate the strength of the forest humans.
Yeah, you'll see the difficulty jump is insane. We're not going to be able to do this until we level up our people some more or using OP legendaries. But real quick for the people who are still watching, because I wanted to show you guys the reason why I picked the champions that I picked, and that is when it comes into the actual Green Dragon itself. The phase 1 Green Dragon is really easy. I like to have an AoE hitter, which like your main adventurer or someone like Irina, to take out the little dragons when they come out, or at least to start handling them. In the higher stages, what I would do is I'd have my AoE nuker hitting really hard, and he would wipe out 2 or 3 of the little dragons, and then while there's just a couple of them left, I would get all of my ultimates back for the main dragon. Now in the phase 3 dragon, the main 2 attacks you have to worry about is the very first one. He can actually wipe out a person if he hits the same person with each of its attacks, which happens sometimes with some bad RNG on your end. He'll wipe them out, so it's good to have like a prepped attack down or something for it. That way you protect your champion, and then whoever does your attack down or your shield, I like to save it, so on the final move the dragon is going to charge up, do his big shield, and if you don't destroy it, he does that big attack, and then right after he's back on that A1 that can single target wipe someone out if it all hits the same person. So what I do is right before the attack goes off, we drop your shields and attack downs, and that is going to keep your team alive and keep working through them. It's hard to see it on the lower level because he's kind of easy to beat on the lower levels, but when you get to the higher levels you'll see what I'm talking about. So anyways, that's just a quick example for you guys. I wanted to show you guys what a free-to-play team would look like going in there, and also it gives you an idea of who you might be focusing on depending on who you've pulled. So if you guys are having a hard time picking champions, you know, you've first time playing, you're getting through the story, you've gotten tons of purple dice, so you pulled lots of rares and you only got like 1 or 2 epics, well, see who your epics are. You can always build a team around them, and then in the end the rare champions in this game are really good. All of these champions right here are very free to play friendly, so this is a good little all-round team to start for first one. The reason why I like this setup is we got a fire poison synergy and then an ice lightning synergy to start for team number 2. So what I would do, because you have to build 2 teams to farm stuff, is then I would build 3 more ice lightnings to surround them to support them for a second team, and then I would just get another DPS support to slot into my fire poison team to take their place to have my double teams going. Anyways guys, that's really about it for this video. Before you leave, check out the descriptions. We got some links in there. If you check out that Amazon link, I would really appreciate that. That helps me and my wife out. It is a book that she wrote about surviving a tsunami. The other stuff, we got the Discord and information how to download the game, and I'll add my Adventure Gathering code in there. If you're lower than level 6, you come in here to Adventure Gathering, you put in the code, it's going to bond us. And then with your bonded characters, once they reach level 25, you get different rewards. So I'd really appreciate that. Give me rewards, give you rewards. And anyways, that's it guys. Thanks for the views, and y'all have a good one.